Hi, so I'm trying to do this 30 days of JavaScript. I've done 3 of 35. The first one is create hello world function. It's actually very straightforward. And let's remember that these are all closures. So create hello world function. Here we have a function create hello world, and inside this function we are returning a function with some arguments. And this is a closure, like saying here, right? So here we just have to return hello world, and then we call the first function, like here the outer function, and then we have this f, we can call the inner function, and it will return hello world. So that's number one. And yeah, like this. And number two is a counter. This was kind of tricky, I would say. And it says given an integer n returns a counter function. This counter function initially returns n and then returns one more than the previous value every subsequent time it is called. So let's just look at this one. You have a new variable counter, then you call your function counter, create counter, and you set it to 10. So you want this, the first counter, when you call your inner function, to be 10. So you do n plus plus. If you do plus plus n, it's gonna be 11 first, 12, and 13. We can run this to check it out. Yeah, you can see here 11, 12, 13. So it's very important to write n plus plus. So the first n will be 10, so you print out 10, and then will be incremented, so 11 and 12. So this should work because I've already done this. So this is number two. Number three, it was actually very tricky. I needed to read some of these discussions. Sorry, see over here. Of these discussions here. I didn't read the answer though, but I needed to refresh my mind of how to create an object and how to throw a new error, and then some message. So let's go through the code and let's read this part. So write a function inspect that helps developers test their code. Okay, so you have a function inspect here. I'm gonna put this over here. It should take in any value val and return an object with the following two functions to be val. So you have to return an object, right? Here it's saying return an object with the following two functions. So you will have to return one object with two functions inside. And this guy here says how to create an object. So you have this object with these curly braces, okay? And then you have two functions, or in objects, I believe they call them methods. So you have method 1 and method 2. This is what I did. So here it's saying you have two methods or functions, to be and not to be. So I created to be and not to be. So let's read the first one. Accepts another value and returns true if the two values equal each other. So if val1, so I'm just passing this 1, is triple equals to val, I'm gonna return true. If they are not equal, so else, you should throw an error. So throw a new error, not equal. Okay, this is the first one. Second is not to be, and I'm passing value 2, val 2. Accepts another value and returns true if two values are not equal to each other. So if val 2 is not equal to val, I'm gonna return true. Else, if they're equal, right, it should throw an error, equal. So this is basically it, but this is important to see how they call this one. So first they call expect. Expect is gonna be 5, okay? So expect has already a value here of 5. And then to be, this val 1 is gonna be 5. It's gonna check val1 is equal to val. Yes, so it's gonna return true. Then we go to the next spect. Well, we call it one more time. The spect is gonna be 5 again, but in this time we're gonna call not to be. So not to be, val2 is gonna be 5. So if 5 is not equal to 5, it's gonna return true. But in this case they are equal, so else it's gonna throw a new error of equal. This is for number 3 or 2. This counter? No, or number 3. So I'll do this one next.